Hello everyone. This video walks through completing Packet Tracer assignment 7.2.1.6, configuring numbered standard IP version 4 access control list. This Packet Tracer assignment is a part of the Cisco RNS Routing and Switching Essentials Cisco Network and Academy curriculum. Now, in this particular lab assignment, we start out configuring numbered standard ACLs for IP version 4. During the routing and switching essentials class, we don't get to extended ACLs anymore. We just cover standard. So with this lab, the main thing to kind of want to evaluate is what are the criteria that are able to be set when you are filtering traffic. So an access control list for a standard access control list, you can only really set one criteria, and that is where is the information coming from, or what is the source between your communication. So everything in the topology has already been configured for end-to-end connectivity. So for instance, if we go from PC1 to PC3 here, everything should ping and work. So if we try that out, all right, second time we get successful. So all these devices can successfully talk to each other. There's protocols running and things for sharing of networks. So we don't need to worry about all of that. What we want to do is look at our network here and say, how do we filter some of this traffic? So if there were reasons that we didn't want PC1 and PC2 to be able to talk to each other, then we would try to make up a rule. All right, that's what access control list is, a set of rules to be able to govern how our traffic flows. Now, again, with a standard access control list, the only thing we can filter that traffic based off of is what is the source of the communication. So between the source and the destination, what is the source? So you could set up the whole source network by either allowing, which is permitting, or denying or blocking that source network, or you could do just one host or one IP address of that computer or that server or whatever IP address it happens to be. So we're going to see how to do that with standard IP for version 4 access control list. Now with numbered ones, we also can number them, all right, instead of naming them, and you'll see that. So in our directions over here, they kind of tell you the two policies they want, and then they have you configure those two policies. So the best thing to do when you are actually writing out or configuring access control lists is to try to write them out in Notepad or something like that before you actually enter them in on the router. And we're going to kind of see how we build this list. Okay, so the network policies are implemented on R2. We got kind of two rules or two things we want to accomplish. We want the 192.168.11.0 network. So that's the whole network here. So that's that one here. Okay, that whole network connected off of R1. All right. We want that to not be allowed access to contact the web server up here. Okay, so we don't want it to be able to contact the web server. All other access we want to permit. So we want to deny anybody on this entire network, whether it's PC2 or future ones to come, so we're going to do the whole network, from contacting the web server up here. So the things we have to do is think about what statement do we want to put in on our router to accomplish that. We have to really look at the order, because the access control list will read from top down, and it'll kind of be evident when we configure it, and then we'll kind of explain it from there. So it tells us we want to place it on R2. Okay, so we're going to go to R2 to configure it. Placement is also key when configuring a standard access control list, because we can only filter traffic based off of where it's coming from, the source information. That means that we want to place the ACL, or the access control list, on the device that is closest to the destination. Reason being, if we don't, we may accidentally filter out traffic that we don't mean to. Okay, so we want to make sure we place it as close to the destination. So if this is my source down here and this is my destination, what router is closest to my destination? Well, that's this one. That's R2. So that's the one they tell us to place it on, but that's the reason they tell us to place it there. So again, we want to start with enable configuration mode, And they tell you the statement down there, but the command for a numbered access control list is access list. And let me get it there. Okay, access list. And then they have you put a number. All right, a numbered access control list for standard can be anything from 1 to 99. That automatically knows that that's a standard access control list. Then you want to put either deny, permit, or remark. So we are going to put deny because we want to basically not allow access from the PC2 network. Okay, we want that whole network though from contacting the web server. So we want to do deny here. Okay. Now permit would be allowing the traffic. Remark would be like a comment. If you're a programmer, you kind of know what a comment is. Now we want to do the whole network. So we want to put the network address, which is 192.168.11.0. And then they're going to ask you for the wildcard mask. Now, the wildcard mask is something, let me open up Notepad here, that we haven't quite went over before. A /24 subnet mask equals 255.255.255.0. Okay. A wildcard would be the inverse of that. So if we actually took the number 255 and put above every one of these, just all 255s, and then subtracted, okay, what would be your result? You would get 0.0.0.255. So this happens to be the wildcard mask for that. If we tried another one, let's say a /30. We know a /30 is 255.255.255.252. Well, again here, if you put all 255s above that and then just subtracted, you would get your wildcard mask. So if you subtracted that, that would be 0.0.0.3. And that would be your wildcard mask representation of that subnet mask. Okay. So on R2, we want to use this wildcard mask, okay, because we got a /24. So the network address of the source is that. Whoops. Okay, and then we want to put the wildcard mask there, okay, and then that's it. So we want to deny traffic. So you see, we didn't even reference the web server at all. That's going to come kind of where we place this. Now, when you're building these access control lists, when you even just put any statement, whether it's deny, permit, remark, or anything, at the very bottom of that access control list, it looks like this. Okay, it says deny any. All right, that automatically goes in there. You cannot delete that out there. You don't have to put that in there, but that is there. Okay, so what happens is if you just put that deny statement in there and then you don't put anything else, it's actually going to deny all traffic, any coming from anywhere. So it's not going to allow anything through. So we actually need to put a permit here, any. Okay, what that does is it kind of goes down the list. Okay, it says when it's checking, it says, okay, is this packet coming from the 192.168.11.0 network with that subnet mask? All right, if it's not, then it's going to go to the next line. Now remember that deny any is still at the bottom here. We don't have to put that, but it's just automatically invoked and we cannot remove it. All right. So that's still at the bottom. But what happens is since we put that permit statement in there, it's always going to permit everything before it even gets down to the deny statement. All right. So that permit statement is important there in our directions for what it wanted us to do. All right. So that's the list. Now, if you ever want to show your access control list, it is show IP access list. Okay, and you see it there. Standard IP access list is number 1, and then it says 10 and 20. These are sequence numbers, all right, where you could like go back and remove those or edit them out or add lines in between there from 11 to 19. It spaces them out by 10, so you can go back and add in the between there. But it says deny 192.168.11.0, has our wildcard mask in there, and then it has that permit. Now again, you see it does not have that deny any in there. However, it is there. It's just invisible, if you want to say that, but it is there. Okay, so we got the access list. Now we need to apply it for it to actually work. Now again, I said you want to apply this as close to the destination as possible. Okay, so it's denying traffic coming from just this network. So this port right here, whatever this happens to be, all right, which is G00 on R2, that is as close to this destination network or this destination server as you can get. So that's the one we want to apply it on. So we're going to go into interface G00, and the command we do is IP access group, and then you put the number or the name of the ACL. We're using the numbered one, which is number 1, and then we want to put out or in. So think about the way this traffic is flowing. So from PC2, okay, it gets to R2. Would the traffic be going out of R or out of G00 to get to the web server, or would it be coming into the port? It would actually be going out of the port to get there. Okay, so we want to put out. And that's it. So that would actually prevent that. So let's try it out. Okay, so let's try PC1 to web server. See that says successful there? Let's try PC3 to the web server. See that says successful? It's still got to go through R2, right? But let's try PC2 to the web server. See, it says failed. No matter how many times I refire this, it's always going to be failed. Why? Because it gets to this port and it says, hey, you were from that network. That was your IP address. You're blocked, right? So it is working properly how we want it to work. Again, if we didn't put that permit any in there, it would have blocked everything because we wouldn't have had a statement that told us to permit anything. Okay, so that takes care of our first one. Our second one says configure and apply a numbered standard ACL on R3. Okay, now again, our policies up here were the 192.168.10.0 network, which is this one right here. Okay, that's the 10.0 network, should not be allowed to communicate with the 192.168.30 network. That's this one over here. All right, so we don't want PC1 to be able to ping PC3, or basically this whole network, because again, if you drill it down to the PC, there is a way to do just that one host, and I'll show you kind of how that is as we walk through the next one. Okay, but all other access is permitted. Now again, this is the source, this is the destination, so we want to place it on the router as close to the destination as possible. So that's what we're going to do again. This time it happens to be R3. So we'll do access list, and they want us to number this one 1 as well. That's fine. Doesn't really matter what you number it as long as it's 1 to 99. Okay. Again, we got deny permit or remark. We are denying the 192.168.10.0 network. Now, if we wanted to do just one host instead of the whole network, if you look here, you got the word host, and then you could just do one IP address. You wouldn't even need the subnet mask at that point. But we want to do a whole network, so we'll do 192.168.10.0. We got to do that wildcard mask, okay? 0.0.0.255 because it's a /24, all right? And then that's it. So we want to deny traffic coming from there, and now permit all other access. So access list 1, permit any. Okay, now remember that deny any is at the bottom there, so we had to put that permit any there. So if we do a show IP access list, we see our access list there. We got our 2 statements in there. Okay, now we got to go apply it. So again, as close to the destination, that's this network here, as possible. If we look here, that happens to be FA01 on R3. So if you look, let's see, oh no, that's G00. I'm sorry, G00 on this. The FA interface is on switch 3, so it's G00 on the router's end. It's kind of hard to tell. We don't have any fast Ethernet ones on the router. So internet G0 interface G00, right? Then that same command IP access group. All right. Now again, you put the number of the access list. We used 1. And now again, think about it. If traffic was flowing from here to PC1, goes up to R1, goes up to R3, then it's going to be looked at, is the traffic to get to PC3 going to go out of that interface? That would be correct. The other direction would be in. So be out of that interface. Okay. Now let's see if it worked. Okay. So PC1 should still be able to contact PC2. All right. Let's see if PC1 can contact PC3. See, it says failed. No matter how many times I refire that. Now let's try PC2 to contact PC3. We still want that to work, right? We just want to deny this network. So R3 looks at it and says, whoa, you're from that network. Nope, you're blocked. Everybody else you can get through. Okay, so that's the goal of filtering. Everything isn't blocked, but you do want to filter out some things. Okay, so that gives us 100 out of 100 in this lab. Remember, the main thing to remember with standard access control list is that you can only filter based off of where it's coming from, and you need to place it as close to the destination as possible. And you have that deny any statement at the bottom once you start one. So you need to look at it line by line by line. All right. So that concludes this particular lab assignment.